Hi, hello, 안녕하세요. We are from the group 4, Peace of Peace, and we will explaining our researches in our topic, teacher career and teacher professional developments. Next, I'll introduce the members of our group. First is me, Faiza Mailasviana. I am from UPI and right now I'm majoring in biology education. My role is the team leaders and I will explain some problems that teachers face in this era. Next are my precious members, Nur Ilmiah Sakinah and Sarah Lee. Nur Ilmiah Sakinah is from the same university and same major as me, and her role is explaining that what is the teacher career in general. Second is Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee is from CNUE and majoring in primary education. Her role is explain or solution to this topic. Our group name, Peace of Peace, is created by Sarah Lee after we learn about each other greetings. Peace comes from the meaning of Muslim greetings. Assalamualaikum, meaning may the peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. We take that peace part and we combining with peace, so it's kind of a slang, Peace of Peace. Hope our little knowledge can bring some peaceful solutions to the world. Now we will start to explaining our topic. Start from Ilmi. What teachers do.
Okay, before we go to the introduction of our project about what teachers do, I would like to explain a little bit about human and social development and the connection to education. As you can see on the screen, education as a process will lead or affecting the development of knowledge, skills, and experience, and the development surely will increasing our human and the social development too, until maybe what we experience this day is the society 5.0 that's centered in big data. As for the human and the social development will also affecting the quality of education, so you can see the connection between these three. Okay, now you already know that education plays an important role in our life, and the main part of education is teachers and students as a subject. Now, we are going to focus on the teachers in education. What is teachers? Murati in 2015 defined teachers as a person whom society and the education authority have accepted as eligible for educations and upbringing of children, youth, and adults. Also, Bagwar and Matajevic in 1993 also defined that teacher is a leader and organizer of the educational process, because teachers know about pedagogy, tactics, and the teaching methods which are suitable and systematic for the human experience and the art of education. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about is the teacher roles in education. Jensen and Kylie in 2000 are explaining that teachers having a responsibility of educating, which also means the responsibility of learning and teaching. The teachers are not only teaching the student, but they need to learn more about themselves, since the knowledge has a possibility to change over the time. So teachers need to learn more not only about knowledge but also about morals and other skills that need in teaching the student. The Nielsen in 2007 are categorizing the teacher's role into several categories. It was teacher as a planner of the learning process, teacher as a facilitator between the student and the material, the teacher as an observer of the student, the teacher as a model for their students, and the teacher as a support system to their student by supporting the right thing to do, and teacher as a team player on a learning process along with the students, and teacher as a questioner to understand more about the student. From this role, we could know that teachers all over the world are sharing the same common roles, and our goal is not only teaching but also educating. We are teaching them about certain knowledge, but we also have a responsibility to educate them about the morals and norms. For the teachers to complete all the roles they need, then we need to make sure that the quality of the teachers are really qualified to do its role.
Currently, we are living in an era that keeps constantly changing. An era that keeps constantly changing also have some new challenges and new problems. So, because of that, the teacher itself needs to improve their qualities to become a good teacher. From some research, we've summarized some of the problems into 4 main points. First is the teacher's task. As we already know, teacher's task is not just educate knowledge, but also attitudes. The knowledge itself is such as languages, mathematics, science, etc. But also we need to teach attitudes. The attitudes that we specifically trying to explain is the attitudes that's suitable for 21st century situation, such as active, self-directed, confident and concerned learners, and competent, not only cognitively but also emotionally, socially, and technologically. Second, the demand for global competency is increasing. The global competency that we talk is the attitudes that we talked before, such as active, self-directed, etc. Because this global competency is suitable for this situation, for this era, so that's why the demand for itself is increasing. Third, there will be a new understanding of how children develop and learn. We already experienced it now. Example, distance learning. Before, we don't really know about what is distance learning, how it works, etc. But because of the situation, because of the technology that keeps developing, we try to use the technology to make us still can study but using distance learning. And it's just start of our process to become a good and new education. There will be new understanding of how to learn. Fourth is our mass educational system that referred students as a product. Unfortunately, this mass educational system is still used in many countries. The mass educational system that we are talking about is the mass educational system does not regard children as unique or distinctive people with different information or have an infinite number of aspirations, but as products that are shuttled and delivered to a factory and go through an assembly line. So that means every student didn't have any difference. So based on the problem, what teacher needs to become a proper, better, and professional teacher? We conclude it into two main points. First is improving ethics. As we already talked before, the teacher task is not just teaching formal knowledge, but also teaching attitudes. That's why Hazarika's research in 2020 said that implementation of teaching ethics to students as well as professional ethics of teachers is very much essential, such as active, self-directed, be a good teachers is also need to be taught in the class. Second is professional development. Because we're living in a constantly changing world, the teacher who are the main center of education also needs to be up to date and constantly changing. Just like Taylor said in 2016, the teacher must adjust to new development in educational technology. To become more up to date, teacher needs to undergoing teacher professional development.
Okay, let's move on to the solution part. I asked a question to my friends through Instagram about if you become a parent, what kind of teacher would you like your child to be taught? And I could categorize those opinions into four. First is motivated education. The founder of our school, Max Ventila, said, if you're not motivated, you don't actually learn. Think about the past education or the education you guys have done during the past years. Has the school ever taught about why we should study? Or was there any time for self-reflection on the school times? I guess there won't be many people who will say yes. As the time in school is limited, we weren't able to think deeply about ourselves. So, as we are all going to be teachers in the future, how should we motivate students? There may be a lot of ways to motivate like this. We need to make our students not come to school because they're just students, but because they have a passion in mind to learn. Teachers cannot always give classes that children want. In our curriculum, children say that they must learn the subject, but no one tells why they should learn and why the subject is essential. And this progress is the essential part of motivating education. Second, as the technology is growing much faster and faster, we teachers need to adapt to the fast pace of technology. So, how are we going to educate effectively? We can use Microsoft PowerPoint to make our class more fun, such as doing the games, or we can make a video with a Final Cut, or we can make music through GarageBand. We teachers should also challenge ourselves and use the text of the world and use it to make more effective classes. Or by using the metaverse that is rapidly developing nowadays, we can learn much deeply in our mind, and those will help our children to be much more creative and self-motivating.
Actually, I have to write this paper. Will you help me?
Let's take a closer look. What part of the solar system are we talking about?
Saturn.
If you were taking astrophysics, you could study in the metaverse.
Did you know the rings are made up of billions of icy particles?
Really?
Look at this.
In the metaverse, you'll be able to teleport not just to any place, but any time as well. Ancient Rome. Imagine standing on the streets, hearing the sounds, visiting the markets, to get a sense of the rhythm of life over 2,000 years ago. Imagine learning how the Forum was built by actually seeing the Forum get built right in front of you.
Third, our world is demanding of global leaders. The third solution is to do a globalized education. We now face a critical imperative to prepare all students for work in civic roles in an environment where success has recently required the ability to compete, connect, and cooperate on an international scale. It is necessary to provide personality education in which children can respect diversity and have a correct civic consciousness. Lastly, we need individualized education. The model that we have for the educating kids now is just the factory model. It doesn't provide an individualized experience to anybody. Every 45 minutes, kids switch to different kinds of subjects and they open the textbook, read the next chapter, and at the end of the week, they take a quiz. That experience is teaching kids how to think like a computer. And that's not going to be valuable to kids that will grow up to be adults. To make the individualized education in reality, we should be communicating with a student to know what the child really wants to know in the class. These were the solutions to be a good teacher of our team, and if you guys have other ideas, let's share. Thank you.
So next are our impression and feelings after participating in the student exchange program. First by me, Faiza. For me, this was such a wonderful experience. Before, I did not have any experience with learning in English, speaking in English, or having friends from another country. Because of this experience, I have become more confident in speaking English. I can practice my English, know more about teacher career, and have friends from another country. That part is awesome. Sarah is such a hardworking person and Ilmi is a beautiful person. I'm so glad I can work with them. Next, Ilmi.
Okay, as for me, I think it was a great experience for me since I never had any student exchange before. And my first student exchange this day has left me a very great memories because by interacting with other friends and making a big projects like making some project with the global education together, it was really fun and never bored of it. So I was really thankful for all of my teammates and I hope we can see each other by face to face in the near futures. And now next, Sarah.
Okay. While preparing for this presentation, I've imagined of how I will be in the real class in 10 years. Especially education of metaverse was kind of sensational to me. I guess it will be totally different from nowadays and the past, and using the technology in our class will be a common and essential thing to do. Luckily, I met great teammates, Phi and Ilmi, our piece of peace, and I hope I can visit them someday. Everybody fighting for the good teachers in the future. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, fighting!
Fighting!
Thank you. Terima kasih. Kamsahamnida for everyone who watched this video. We hope this video will be helpful for the one who needs it. Thank you very much.